What's up guys, it's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. As you can see, night has fallen on Empires and Puzzles land, and that must mean that Halloween is on the way. And of course, that will also mean that we've got the Malovia quest, and we will have a few brand new seasonal heroes in there. So that is why we're here today. We are going to have a look at our newest seasonal heroes. We have two brand new heroes in here, and we've also got a costume for an old favorite, Alucard. There he is in all his glory. So of course we're going to have a look at these guys today. We will start with this weird looking little monkey bat type thing, which is called Wayne. Very interesting looking hero, and we'll have a look at what he's all about to start off with. So he is a holy hero, the second holy hero that we've got in the Malovia family. Matilda is a absolute G, and she has definitely done very, very well. So we'll see if Wayne can compare in any way, shape or form. So he is of the wizard class, which gives him that chance to jinx, so to dispel buffs and deal damage from dispelling them. And he is of the Malovia family. So with the Malovia family, they do get a bonus, which is really nice. For 1, 2 or 3 heroes, it's anywhere from 3% to 9% increased mana generation. It was a higher bonus initially when they were released, but that bonus got nerfed, and as of yet, it has remained the same. But still pretty decent, knowing that you can increase their mana just by having extra heroes in the family. They also get the passive, so when the character casts their special, they have a 50% chance to steal the newest dispellable buff from a random enemy that has buffs. If no enemies have buffs, they deal 70% damage to all enemies. I like the damage bit, but the random chance to steal a single buff, I don't feel like it's got the same impact as it once had. And because we see on the Heroes of the Month, this new passive where they can dispel all buffs or cleanse all status ailments, I think that the Halloween family's fallen a little bit behind with that passive right away. Now, in terms of the stats, we'll switch them off real quick. We're looking at 1,054 team power, so actually quite relevant in terms of the meta, so that's decent. And he does benefit from the Vampire Ether talent, which we don't see a lot. So he heals 100% of dealt normal damage for 6 turns at the start of the battle, and we're going to see that's a common theme for Wayne. In battles with multiple waves, the effects refresh at the beginning of each wave. So yeah, good for playing through PvP content or PvE content, but not really that effective for much else. He's just going to be healing himself based off of the damage he deals. In terms of the actual stats there, 1184 on the attack is pretty good. 1120 on defense makes him quite survivable, and 1442 on the health, maybe a little bit squishy by today's standards. Now, his special skill is called Blood Illusion, and he's running at very fast speed. So he'll charge within 2 tile matches. All enemies receive 284 bleed damage. That should increase with limit breaks and emblems. It does to 418 bleed damage over 2 turns. So that's a decent amount per turn. The caster absorbs 30% of the dealt bleed damage as health, and the caster steals 60% of any healing applied to all enemies for 2 turns. Now, I'm going to go right ahead and say that I'm not a huge fan of this hero. He's a very, very selfish little rat bat character. Even though he's running at very fast speed and dealing bleed damage to the whole of the enemy team, and it's a relatively good amount of bleed damage. The only thing is, he's kind of missing a trick here in that he's only healing himself. He's only stealing healing for himself. So that means that all you need is a cleanse and you're going to be able to get rid of this guy's effect. Granted, he is running at very fast speed, so he can be pretty frustrating. But we've seen it with heroes like Uthragan and the Hero of the Month. I mean, he deals damage to all and he gives a significant amount of poison. And he's never been very effective. So I feel like Wayne is going to suffer from the exact same thing. I mean, there's so much better skills that this guy could be performing. I just don't see him getting the maximum effect out of this. If you do have Matilda, I would say, and you do manage to pull Wayne, then it may be a good idea to where you could pair the two of them up and then you can increase his bleed damage by 50%. But other than that, I mean, there's not a huge amount to like about this hero, unfortunately. I mean, Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong, but I'm not a huge fan of Wayne right off the bat. So hopefully we've got a better hero in this portal. Now we've got Chester as our other hero, and he looks pretty cool. I kind of like the sword sticking into him, and the he's been through some stuff in his life. Like, you can tell he's really like, what was that movie? I can't remember. Where The Grudge. That's the one. Like, he's coming back with The Grudge with some serious emotional damage that has happened to him in his past life. That's for sure. I'm not sure why the chains don't go right off the other end of the screen. I think that's kind of lazy in terms of the art. I'd like it to be a bit better looking. But, you know, it's quite comical. I kind of like that. But yeah, you know, step it up a little bit, SG. Come on, guys. So Chester is an ice hero. He is of the sorcerer class, so he gets that all-important delay, which makes generally for a better defensive hero. He gets the same Morlovia family bonus, so we won't go over that again. And he gets the same passive as well, so we won't go over that again. He does get the revive on the ether talent, so if he's defeated during the first 4 turns of a battle, he gets resurrected with a single % health, kind of like the revive talent class. But it is just a very short stint at the beginning of the battle where that can trigger, so really not a huge fan of that either. Now, in terms of his stats, if we switch off the max power, we're looking at 1052, so very similar to what we just looked at. But this guy's a bit more defensive, so 927 attack, 1266 on defense, which is nice, and 1775 on health. So that is decent. I like that. Unfortunately, though, it's kind of going to work against him in a moment. So let's get on to his special skill, which is the horrifying wail. And he is running at slow speed. So he'll deal 440% damage to the target and nearby enemies. Now, that's where I said he falls down a little bit. 440 is a great amount of damage. The only downside, though, is that you really want a damage dealer like this to be running with a higher attack stat. I'd prefer it if they just transfer all that defense and a majority of their health into a higher attack stat. And that would be great for him. But as it is, I think it is going to be a good hit, but not as good as it could have been. The target and nearby enemies then receive 730 curse damage over 5 turns, starting low and increasing every turn. Now, again, this is going to increase with limit breaks and emblems, so it goes up to 1070 curse damage over 5 turns, so 200 damage-ish per turn, and it starts at a lower amount and increases each turn. The target and nearby enemies also get silenced for 5 turns. That is where the crux of this guy's special comes in. If it was just the beginning part, the 440 damage and the curse damage, I could take it or leave it. But as it is, with him getting that massive silence for 5 turns, that now makes him a really decent and good and usable hero, especially in the rush format. For rush wars, this guy is going to be so much fun because he's a control hero, and he's a control hero that deals a boatload of damage as well. Most control heroes don't have the same kind of effect. I mean, you take C2 Li Zhu. Yes, she's running at average speed, but in Rush War, that doesn't matter. She's only dealing like 270 odd damage. He's dealing 440 damage to the target nearby, and then getting that all-important silence. Plus, that curse damage is just there to finish the job. Now, I don't think this guy's going to be as usable in all areas of the game, but I definitely think he's a damn sight better than Wayne as far as these heroes go. So for a seasonal hero, I think this guy's going to be the one that most people will want. I definitely would love to pull a copy of him from this portal, and huge congratulations to any of you who do manage to summon a copy of Chester. I think he's going to be an excellent hero, and you'll get loads and loads of use out of him, especially when Rush War comes around. Now, the next hero that we have in the portal is my man, Alucard. I do have him without the costume, and I must say he's still very effective when the minion wars come around. So this last minion war, my defense did extremely well, and I feel like that was largely in part to having Alucard as part of that defense. So the old Alucard, we won't go over all of the rest of the things because we all know him by now. His old special destroys all minions from the target and nearby enemies at very fast speed and deals 250% damage to the target and nearby. All allies recover 10% health for each destroyed minion and 3% mana for each destroyed minion. And the attack bypasses defensive buffs. Now that is just an awesome special because of his minion destruction and because he recovers health and recovers mana for each destroyed minion. So the costume, I'm not expecting this to be a great deal different. We do have a switch around in terms of the class from sorcerer to wizard. May make him a little bit less effective on defense, but then, you know, if the special makes up for it, I'm not going to be too unhappy. So he destroys from minions from the target nearby enemies still running at very fast speed, and then he deals 245% damage to the target nearby. So 5% decrease in the damage, but then the costume bonus should more than make up for that, because we can see he's been given a 22% attack bonus alongside a 20% defense bonus, 25% health bonus, and a 5% mana bonus. It'd be interesting actually to see how that mana bonus is going to work, because with these Halloween heroes, if you get that 5% mana bonus plus you then get the bonus that they're doing, I just want to actually have a look at this dude. Okay, he is of the sorcerer class, so he's not going to get everything, but if you got that 9% mana generation, nah, he won't get it because he doesn't have a costume. What am I doing? So with Alucard, at least, you're going to be able to speed him up if you have 3 of these heroes to where it's 9% mana bonus from the family bonus plus an extra 5% from the costume bonus, and then whatever extra mana bonuses you have for troops. I mean, you could get this guy firing off pretty damn quickly, maybe within like a dragon bomb. That would be insane. I don't even know off the top of my head how much mana you'd need to do that. Maybe he'll fall just short, but that is a decent family bonus there, coupled with the costume bonus. So as I was saying, his damage is reduced by 5%, but it doesn't matter because the stat boost more than makes up for that. You can see his team power is now at 1,013, which is going to be much better. And then the health recovery. So all allies recover 12% health for each destroyed minion. So an extra 2% health recovery for each minion you destroy. And all allies get the same 3% mana for each destroyed minion. And again, the attack bypasses defensive buffs. So yeah, as a defensive hero, this guy is really effective. As an attacking hero, he can be a bit more tricky to play with, but he destroys the minions full stop. And you've got other heroes that do it, but not at quite as fast of a speed. So if you've got a really fast red team that's, you know, running at fast speed and you need them to deal that extra damage. So let's say you've got like 3 or 4 red heroes and you've got Alucard there. He is going to be able to charge those heroes just by destroying the minions, because that extra little bit of mana is usually enough to get that final charge that you need to fire off your fast speed heroes. So that's why Alucard is a very, very useful hero. And I still think he's going to be amazing, especially now with this costume. So in summary, fantastic hero in Alucard. Huge congrats if you do manage to pull him. Absolutely monster of a rush hero that we have in Chester. So again, huge congrats if you do get Chester. And finally, Wayne is just an absolute letdown. So commiserations if you are unlucky enough to grab Wayne from this portal. As far as the odds are concerned, we're looking at a legendary featured hero of 1.3%, which to be honest is not bad. Seasonal non-featured is 0.3%. And then classic legendaries 0.9%. We still have Chloris in here, who's a fantastic hero of the month. So if you haven't grabbed her, another opportunity for you to get hold of Chloris in this portal. And that's pretty much all that I've got to say on these heroes. So please do let me know in the comments what you guys think of Wayne, Chester, and the new costume for Alucard. I'm always interested to hear your thoughts. Drop us a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share it with your mother, guys. And I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.